Why you must go all in wholesaling real estate in 2024. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And 2024 is fastly approaching. And this is going to be the time for you to go all in, for you to put all of your efforts into wholesaling houses to get rich. I don't say this lightly, but this is do or die time. This is time, the time for you to go all in wholesaling houses. This is an opportunity you're not going to have in 5 or 6 years. You know, everyone says, oh, I wish I could wholesale back in this time. That this is the golden era for wholesaling houses, where anybody who has no money at all that wants to go and make a quick 100 grand their first year, this is still the era for it. I can't guarantee the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years is going to happen. There's going to be more wholesalers coming in. There's going to be more opportunities, trust me. But if you're a person right now trying to actually become successful, get rich, this is the time. There's no more waiting. There's no more sitting around. Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, this is the time. And we're going to break down exactly why this is the time you must go all in and how exactly you can do it for you for wholesaling success. Guys, it is time to get rich. It's time to change your life. And we're going to break this all down today. So we're super excited, ready to go. And let's talk about it, right? This is the time to go all in on wholesaling houses.
Hands down. It's, back when I started in like 2003, I went through the exact same discussion we're having now. Like, is the timing right? Is it going to be good? And honestly, there's no better time than right now, because you're going to look back in 10, even 20 years. I'm on year 21, and it was probably the best decision, one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And if I didn't do it, I just would have kept doing thing after thing after thing. And honestly, after I got a year or two in the wholesaling act, everything opened up in my life. And I'm just telling you, you have to make the decision. If you're constantly sitting on the fence, let me ask you this. Do you think real estate's just going to get cheaper and cheaper every month, every year? It's not, guys. Listen, I started out buying $20,000, $30,000 houses. The average price in the United States is it's just above $400,000. It's constantly changing, but like, think about it. So, I'm not telling you to be a speculator, to buy retail. We're teaching you how to buy discounted houses today. You make cash today, and then you can grow and take advantage of the real estate market. Guys, now is the best time. And actually, absolutely, with high mortgage rates, a questionable economy, I'm telling you, wholesaling is here. Wholesaling is 100% legal. And honestly, it's the highest, best skill set you can learn in real estate investing. How do I know that? Fix and flippers can't do it. Realtors can't do it. Landlords can't do it. They always try to do what a wholesaler does. They don't have the guts. And number two, they don't have the skill set. It is the best skill set you can learn in your life, in my opinion.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about this. But before we do it, cue the intro, get it going, and let's get rich wholesaling houses. It's kind of scary. We are way closer to 2024 than we were at the beginning of 2023. But things are changing. And so you have to go all in, though. This is the time to do it, right? My time to go all in was 2017. For me to put bandit signs out to make 100 grand in high school, barely even really doing it, that was the time to do it. If I did that now, and I swear to everyone, I say this, if I did what I did in 2017 to make my first 100 grand now, I would probably not get there. I might got one deal at most, but probably not, honestly. And that's a scary thing to say. It's closer if you did what you did in your first year of wholesaling now, it'd be a lot tougher. And especially as a beginner, you might have not been able to become successful, right? But you would have done other things. But I'm just saying, like, there's certain eras and times for you to go all in on it, and it pays off massive. And so a large portion of our successes has always been timing when starting out. And the timing is going to get worse for you the longer you wait, right? And so, like, this is, like, for everyone watching, this is the time to get into wholesaling, right? And if you're watching this right now and you're lucky enough, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, you're not married, you got no kids, right? Like,
I'm out.
You got no commitments, really. Maybe you don't have a dog or cat or something. And you kind of like, it's all you. It might seem like, oh, you're lonely. It's no, this is perfect, because this is where you can go all in on wholesaling, and you don't have to have that stress of, oh, if I don't get this going, the kids can't eat, right? The dog's going to not do well, right? Or you're chilling. And for the people that live with their parents or something like that,
ramen noodles, man.
Oh my gosh. Like, this is perfect, because you already live with your parents. If you screw up, you're still going to live with your parents. Your mom ain't going to hate you anymore. And so, like, there's no, like, I'm not calling it rock bottom, but like, you can't go, the cool part about rock bottom is you can't go below that, right? And, I'm not saying do stupid stuff, but it's pretty cool. I'm just telling you, like, if you don't have any of these responsibilities and you're probably 17, 18, 19 years old, this is awesome, because you can go all in on wholesaling. And really, if it doesn't work out, which it will if you work hard, you're going to be in the same spot, and you can always get a job or whatever if you have to. I don't like that, but I'm saying you can't. And so we're talking about for anyone. You might have kids now watching this and be like, oh, what do I do? No. Hey. There's plenty of stuff to go all in, but this is it right now. I'm telling you, if you want to become successful, get rich in wholesaling. Let's talk about this and let's get into it. So there's about 7 reasons.
Let me just do a quick 2 points analogy. Number 1, everybody talks about, well, you want to wait till the real estate market gets a little bit better. The interest rates are off. Listen, timing any market, stock market, real estate market, I don't know, the used car market, like you can only do it once. Like think about it. So the really cool thing is like, if you had 100 grand, you're sitting on the sideline waiting to put in the stock market, you're better off pulsing in like your money and like going all in and do it because you're never going to time it. So in wholesaling, you don't even have to worry about timing the market because you're buying on discounted values today. So you don't care about that. Number 2, when I first started wholesaling, I want you to understand this is one of my keys to my success. Like I kind of burned my bridges. Like I was all in. I didn't have a choice. He was like 3. I had a big fat mortgage. I didn't have a lot of money. I had a new baby on the way and I had a wife looking at me like, I hope you know what you're doing. So I know sometimes you guys feel like the weight of the world's on your shoulders, but the reality is you got to stop trying to do wholesaling. It's a hobby. It's never going to work. I want you to understand this. You have to go all in. So anybody on this stream that's done a cold immersion, it's not a fun feeling. Okay. And what happens if you try to dip your toe in? What happens? It's very uncomfortable and it starts messing with your head. Like, why do I want to do it? Okay. I'm from Florida. We freak out when the pools are like colder than 82 degrees. Okay. We just dive in head first. So look at it as like a cold immersion. The only way it's going to work and you get, because the benefits on the other side, it releases dopamine. It's natural. It helps inflammation, everything, but you got to go all in and do it. You are never going to get through it dipping your toe, your ankle, and then you get to your knee and go, I'll try it tomorrow. And then the anxiety builds worse. The anxiety is actually worse than wholesaling. So if you want to do wholesaling and you're thinking about doing the cold plunge, just go in. Because your body is trying to tell your mind, I don't want to do this. But if you're in control of your mind, which is what we try to teach you here, which was one of the fundamentals, you have to tell your body what to do. If you have to make 300 calls, do it. Stop negotiating with yourself. So if you're struggling with wholesaling, go do a cold plunge. And if you're the type of person that won't go all the way in, you're going to have the exact same problem in wholesaling. And I want to give you a macro like understanding because some of us were not conditioned mentally for us. And it's why we fail. There is no dipping your toes in. Anything you try, most likely, you're probably going to fail. If you make it a must, you have to do it. Let's face it. Why did you brush your teeth this morning? I made it a must. It's non-negotiable. I'm going to do it. I know the downside of doing it. So guys, go all in. Cold plunge all the way in, dipping your toes. It's painful, creates anxiety, and it will actually sabotage you if you don't do it. So just dive in.
Well, there's one thing about the cold plunge I love talking about. You talk about like that, and I agree. You go in there, it sucks. You have anxiety.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. A lot of you wholesalers, they see the cold plunge and they don't want to do it. But they only do it when they become so distraught. And what I mean by that, most wholesalers don't decide to go full in or all in until they just start going dead broke, till they run out of all their money, when they have no more options. And the only option is to go into wholesaling, right?
I did it at 33, guys.
That's the sad part. They wait until they're 15 years in a job and they're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. They think they can rush it out. And the analogy for that is there might be a cold plunge in front of you with ice and I'm so scared. Well, guess what? If I light your hair on fire, you're going to jump in that cold plunge, no problem. Did the cold plunge change? Did it change at all? Did it get colder? No. But my hair is now on fire and there's no water around me except for in the cold plunge. Well, I'm going to jump in that cold plunge because I value my hair and body not catching on fire more than the pain. The pain of being on fire is worse than the pain of cold water. And unfortunately, y'all are waiting until you're so broke, you get evicted, you go back to your mom or dad's basement till you can't feed your kids anymore, and then you want to start wholesaling. It's like, come on, what? Now you want to get into wholesaling? I'm telling you guys, don't wait till you get to that point. Go all in now. So let's break down exactly why you need to be going in.
And everything you want is just on the other side of that cold plunge. Nobody does the cold plunge because they enjoy cold water. Nobody calls 300 people because they enjoy being rejected all day. But if you want financial freedom and you want freedom of your time, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. If you have chose wholesaling and you commit to me and Zach's theory here, our actual doing, there's no theory. It works. And by the way, wholesaling is probably the most proven entrepreneurial way to get started, to be on your own with absolutely no capital. It's never gone away. Don't buy into any of this crap. It's been around long before I started. It'll be around long after I'm gone. Wholesaling is proven and it works.
Let's break it all down. Let's get into it. So number one, 7 reasons you need to go all in on wholesaling. Number one, wholesaling will never be easier than today. What do I mean by that? That means today, as we are speaking, this is the easiest time in human history to get into wholesaling real estate. To make $100,000 in wholesaling, this right now today is the best, easiest time. Is it? Oh, he's just saying that he's biased. No. I ain't saying biased so I get more JV deals for you with you. I like that, but like I'm saying that because if your name's Malik and you live in Libya right now, or Tanzania, or like some crazy country of like, that's just like not even possible to wholesale in that place, right? And you wanted to start doing this in 2002, 2003, like no way you would have done it. No way.
There was so
you would have stayed broke,
limits.
right? You would stay broke. That's your life. Oh, you have an accent? Ain't gonna do well back then, right? But guess what? Demographics have changed in the United States, where when you talk to somebody with an accent, I mean, 2002 is kind of the different. It's not a good time. 2005, 2006,
way back when.
But like, I'm just saying, like, people are a lot more, how can I say the word, less accepting of if you were different. That's the best way I can put it. If you had an accent, it's a lot tougher to wholesale houses. Wouldn't you agree in 2006 and is now?
Yeah.
People don't care as much anymore. I'm just being completely honest with you. And that's the United States in general. Now, the United States always has problems. I get you that. There's plenty to change. But that is one positive thing. And so if you have an accent right now, people care a lot less. And if you're that person, the reason why I say Tanzania is there's some wholesalers in Tanzania, in North Africa, basically, that are making quadruple the average salary of a doctor in the country. Because the average salary is like $5,000 a year, and they're making $100,000 a year there. And because they have an accent, and now because the time right now, the internet is as good as it's ever been in that country, and you have an accent, no one really cares. And because you have more access to the internet, you can learn English better. If you're a virtual wholesaler right now around the world or anywhere, this is the time. If you have an accent or you live outside the country, or like, this is the time. Let's say you lived in New York City in 2004. It's very difficult to get into virtual wholesaling in 2004. I'll tell you that, okay? Yeah. Very, very difficult. No MLS access. None of these things. If you lived in Louisiana in 2004 and you didn't have MLS access in a non-disclosure state, you were screwed.
Here's how virtual wholesaling worked when I started out. You get a car and go on a ridiculous road trip, or you got on a plane. That was virtual wholesaling. Yeah. You literally had to go to that market, camp out there for a few months, and then eventually you almost marry that market and you had to stay there 6 months to a year. Like, that's why nobody did it back then. It's like I look at now, what you guys got to understand is like what you think, oh, it's so hard now. I said the same thing in 2003 and 4. And I look back, I go, that was the greatest gift I ever gave myself. And you guys, I don't want you guys to go back in time and go, man, I was watching this live stream with Rick and Zach on YouTube. And I kind of doubted myself. 5-6 years went by and you're in the exact same spot. Make a decision. If you've chose wholesaling, you're in the right spot. I'm telling you guys, it's so funny. We always like our parents' histories, like, it was so easy for you back then. When they were doing it, it was brutally hard. And I thought it was brutally hard in 2003. Honestly, there was no information. And then we go to today. Is there more competition? Yeah, but there's more opportunity. Because of technology, you have the availability to connect with people like me and him. It's unmatched. It's crazy.
I agree. But I also mean that this is a two-sided thing. Yes, if you're in like virtual, like this is the best time ever. And so like this is why you need to go all in. Let me tell you another con though. We don't go in the past. The past is the past. We can't look back. You can't drive while looking behind you. It's not the right way to drive. You can't run by looking side by side on your competition behind you. No, you got to look straight, right? And so if I don't compare the past. I compare now to 2040, 2050, 2060, 2070.
Oh, yeah.
And I look from right now, or should I wait a little longer to get into wholesaling? Look at every single year. This is going to be the greatest time to wholesale houses or get into it if you're physically wholesaling too. There has been a phenomenon wholesaling, and I'm the only one that ever talks about it still. And it's kind of sad, crazy to think, but I know the trends. Wholesaling has doubled the past couple of years, and it has doubled the couple of years before that, and it will double in the next year. There's this new thing, I call them TikTok wholesalers. It's the only way to say it. But here's the problem. Wholesaling real estate is the product of its own success. And it's a demise for a lot of people too, because wholesaling real estate to this day, and I'll fight anyone on it, is the only, in the United States of America, the only side hustle where you can have zero money, zero experience. You can be any age, any gender. You can look like anyone. You can do anything you want, and you can go make $100,000 in a year. You can make $30,000 in a month with no money, no experience, straight up only from YouTube, from my free wholesaling course, stuff like that. There's not one other side hustle like that. There's only one other way you can do it, but that's illegal. You can't be doing that, right? You can rob banks, probably. It's another way you can do it, but you'll go to jail for that, right? So we're talking about legal ways to run up 30 grand in a month with no money, no experience, anything. Wholesaling houses is the only one. Go mention something else to me, ain't gonna happen. Yeah, you could try to be a TikTok dancing influencer. The chance of you making 30 grand ain't going to be too well there. Okay. And so because of that, I would say a lot of kids, and I'm calling them kids. I'm 24, so I can call people kids now, right? You know, these 16-year-olds, they don't know what they're doing. They're 16, but they listen to me say drive for dollars, and they go in their car, they drive, they find an ugly house, they put a sticky note, and they end up making 30 grand in a month. What do you think a 16-year-old does with 30 grand? I'm saying the vast majority of them. They buy the cool whip. They get that 5.0 Mustang. They get the cool watch.
Is the whip the car?
The whip is a car, yes.
I really...
They get the sick chain. They get the jewelry. They get iced out. They get their Givenchy gloves. They go crazy, get the glasses. They go nuts, right? And guess what they do? They want to flex on everyone, right? And then they get their phone and they say, oh, look, I just made 30 grand, bro. And then they're flexing everything. And guess what happens? This is like it's like a sonar, you know. All the other 16-year-olds that want to get rich, they all buzz in on that. And guess what? It's like a Ponzi scheme. One 16-year-old makes 30 grand, then all the other 16-year-olds come in and want to do it. And guess what happens? Now you got every 15-year-old boy who wants to get rich, who wants the Lamborghini. You know how many 16-year-old boys want Lamborghinis? All of them. Okay, all of them want to get rich. If I interviewed anyone in the high school, the males, they all want to get rich. And they all want it quick, okay? And they don't want to work hard. And wholesaling, unfortunately, is a process where you can't do that. And so wholesaling has grown like crazy because every young boy wants to get rich. I'm just being honest with you. What do you think I got in this for, okay? And it's true. And so wholesaling has grown. And these 16-year-olds turn into 25, 26. They mature. They actually get good at wholesaling. Then they go from there. And so the wholesaling industry has grown like crazy. And it's going to continue to grow because you can go in here, walk in and just make a ton of money. And that's a con in the next 10 years, because that means in 10 years from now, whatever market you have is going to be way more saturated. Way more I promise you, way more saturated. And so it's best for you to get rich now wholesaling, get a bunch of cash buyers, and then JV with those new wholesalers coming in 10 years versus you struggling to fight with them and be an established wholesaler now. So why do you need to go all in right now? Because I feel bad. I can't sleep at night not letting you know that, like, if you don't go now, there's going to be way more wholesalers. And guess what? Either you decide today, I'm going to go all in on wholesaling, or the dumb 15-year-old is going to do it. And he's going to make 100 grand this year. And that 100 grand that you probably could have used to feed your kids, pay the mortgage, all their bills, he's just going to get Cartier glasses and a sick Camaro. So either or, the money's going to get spent. Choose who's going to get rich. The dumb 15-year-old or you. Choose it. It's not an intelligence thing. It's who wants to work harder.
No, and like we're all brought up in the school system. I don't care if you're public and private. You were taught the smartest person is going to have the best financial destiny. It's the biggest lie you'll ever hear. Honestly, the smartest people will work for the people that take the most action and go all in. Don't believe me? Go ahead and do a check on it. Some of the wealthiest people I know, that they literally can't spell some words. And I'm not making an exception. Everybody should be educated, but no longer in wholesaling, we don't care what your degree is. You needed to get a degree in going all in and just being fearless in your action. And unfortunately, school system taught me the complete freaking opposite, other than sports. And that's why you have some sports. Some people they can use the analogy of going all in and being competitive. And you can use that in wholesaling. But honestly, I fail a lot, guys. He fails a lot. You go to school, you're so fearful for failing something that you got to get good grades. The only way you truly learn is through failing. And the way we set up the school system, it doesn't do that. And you all told, wow, you get C's. Guys, I'm a flat C student, not a C plus, not a C minus. I'm a C student, okay? But I have A plus people working for me. That's the difference.
Supposed to mean? I'm an A+ student, but that's just
I'm just saying. I think you're one of the exceptions, but I was told At one point I was told like, maybe you need to go to special classes. And I'm just like, I learned differently than everybody else. And it drove me nuts. I struggled in college, guys. I asked a lot of questions. The only courses I ever thought were beneficial were finance course, economics was interesting, and then statistics. I thought statistics was amazing. Outside of that, other than a speech class, I just despised them. I didn't see the value in it. When I questioned it, I was told I'm not going to be a good worker. I'm not going to be a good employee. So
I'm telling you guys. So either you get rich and you spend that on your family, helping your own financial future, your kids, your family forever, or we're just going to let the 15-year-old kid, let him go dance all over the money pile in the bank. You choose who's going to get rich, you or that kid. I would say it should be you. But I'm just saying, like, it's not intelligence. It's just whoever wants to go out here and do the work. And guess what? The 15-year-old dumb kid, he doesn't overthink things. He doesn't say, oh, what market should I go? He just does it, right? He just does it, right? And so I'm telling you, you got to go all in. Number two here. If you decide you're going to make $100 grand this year and actually commit to wholesaling, let's say you want to put $100 grand into wholesaling, that actually turns into about 250 grand. And what I mean by that, I don't think a lot of people understand compound interest. If you actually decide to run up $100,000 in wholesaling, you invest that in 10 years, it's actually $250,000.
And throw inflation on top of it.
Yeah.
On compounding.
No, I'm just telling you. So like, you got to remember that if you do it now, it's actually, you're not just making 100, you're making like $250,000 in the next 10 years. And so that's why in wholesaling, when I became a millionaire at 20, it wasn't because I made $1 million in assignments. I made like 400 grand, but that 400 grand compounded to $1 million. So I became a millionaire by not even making $1 million. And I don't think people understand that. And that million has just keeps doubling. And the cool part, I always look at things, and I look at things as a psychopath. When I made $1 million, and I was a millionaire at 20, that was 100 grand in passive income for the rest of my life. And so when you make 100 grand in wholesaling, by the time you're 60, 65, 70, if you're 18, 19, that's over $1 million. And so that means if you just made 100 grand right now, by the time you're 65, you'll be making 6 figures passively for the rest of your life. Think about that. You know how many people, I literally, I don't want to get into this. I had a brunch with some people, and one of the people's, people are obsessed with this. I don't ever play the lottery, right? Yeah. But people are obsessed with this thing. It's like the lottery ticket, and it pays you 10 grand
especially in
a month for the rest of your life, or 10 grand a week. People go nuts for that. They go ballistic. 10 grand a month for the rest of my life, and I don't have to do, oh my gosh. But guess what? If you made 100 grand right now, you could get that 10 grand a month for the rest of your life forever if you just invested. Don't want to deal with it. Because what happens is you make 100 grand every year and you just invest a quarter of that. I'm telling you guys, that's 25 grand a year for the rest of your life after 10 years. It's insane. And so this is the time. Like, don't wait for the lottery ticket. You become your own lottery ticket. Bet on yourself and go all in after it. Number 3, this is a really important one.
Fun one.
But you have a lot of haters to prove wrong. And this might be a little personal for a lot of people, but like, there's people right now, old coworkers, old bosses, maybe ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. They don't like you. They want to see you fail. They don't want to see you get rich. They don't want to see you successful. They don't want to see you live the life of your dream. They don't like seeing that. They don't want to see it. It upsets them to see that. And either you can cry about it or use it as fuel, motivation to prove them wrong. How satisfying would it be to pull up to your old place of work in your nice car, make already a millionaire with the rentals you have in wholesaling, and just walk around and people see who you are? I'm not saying it's for an ego thing, but I'm just saying that it feels pretty good. Ain't gonna lie. Got a lot of people to prove wrong.
You want a jaw to drop. I'm like, when you can help people out when nobody else can. I've been to events where people they're holding up a giant $500 check, donating it to like their local charity. You're really successful in wholesaling. You talk to your accountant and you go, listen, go up there and give a $5,000 check and drop people's jaw. Or like, get to his level, give a $50,000 check. That's where people go, oh my God, what do you do? And that's where like, you don't, listen, I'm never about bragging. I'm never about like letting your ego get it. But sometimes you can use a humble approach, not only to make an impact and shut up your haters, because listen, when it comes down to it, you can't spin a gossip when you donate money like that, people. And don't get me wrong, please keep donating, guys. I'm not telling you to stop, but I've always told you, take care of yourself first. When you're on a plane and the oxygen mask drops, you got to put it on yourself first and get oxygen before you take care of the rest of your family. And a lot of you are constantly trying to help everybody out. At some point, you have to make an investment in yourself. And I'm not selling you a program. An investment in yourself is mostly time and just a commitment level. And the best way to do it is by going all in. You can't dabble. Think about the word try. Try, should, think about. It means you're not going to do it. Listen to the words people use, and you can get clarity in the relationships you want with people. If someone wants to make it a must and they're absolutely going to do it, that's the person I want to work with. You want to try, or my feelings got hurt, or like your feelings. Wholesaling doesn't care about your feelings.
Nope.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. We all have these crazy things, feelings and emotion, and we all struggle with like keeping them in check when people tick you off and stuff like that. But at the end of it, you got to go back to wholesaling. And if you let your feelings dominate how you have every conversation, how you run your business, it's not a must. And I'm just here to tell you, I love listening to people's words. That's why I love talking to you guys, because just by what you tell me, I can quickly evaluate some of your problems and what you're struggling with. I'm thinking I'm going to try. No. Let me know when you're actually going to do, and it's a must. And then I will show you exactly how to get there. But like a basics, we give out this beautiful free course. Been going on a long time, freewholesaling.com. And you're like, I looked at like the third section. I go, have you gone all the way through it? Wholesaling's not a must to you. You're dabbling. You're trying. You're thinking about it. Like, what's your excuse? I gave you a course for free and you're still not all in. Just admit it. Go, listen, I'm dabbling here. Okay. You got a hobby. When you want to make it a business, you will go all in and you'll make it your must. Anything else, you're negotiating with yourself. And you know how that works. Once you negotiate with yourself, you're going to lose.
That's it. You got to prove your haters wrong. And it's always, it's a good feeling. That's all I can tell you. I'm not getting specifics, but I can tell you some very good feelings I've had. A lot of people that, so it just get rich. It always feels good. Success is always the best revenge. I'll let everybody know this. To become so successful that the other person that did you wrong is so set. And this is like old 17, 18-year-old thing for me. It feels good. And so get rich, become a millionaire, and do it for yourself. Do it for everyone. Number 4 here, very important. Can't tell you this enough. Retire your mom. Guys, if you're watching this right now, and I'm not going to, lean in anyone or light a fire on someone's butt, but if your mom still pays a mortgage, if your mom still works a job, if your mom still pays for a grocery bill, you have a duty to go out here and get rich by wholesaling houses, because you should make it a goal. Your mom never has to pay a mortgage bill, the electric bill. Your mom never has to pay the groceries for the rest of her life. You're not here. You're here because your mom made sacrifices for you. She paid for your groceries starting as a little kid. She put a roof over your head. She always found a way to make sure you're good. She always makes sure you're healthy. For every single person outside the select few that hate their mom, and there are people that should hate their mom, but I would say for the vast majority of us, you deserve to give your mom the world, and not just give her hugs or a Christmas present. No, we're talking like retire your mom. Make sure she doesn't have to work anymore. She doesn't worry about bills or anything. She should enjoy the fruits of her labor, which is being in labor and giving you to the world, right? She gave the greatest gift anyone could ever have given anyone, which is life itself. And I truly believe in my heart that everyone should have the goal of retiring their mom. I'm not saying you have to, but make it a goal, retire your mom, pay for a mortgage. Make sure she doesn't have to worry about retirement.
Dad's on his own.
Dad is on his own. Who cares? But I'm just saying, you need to have that mindset coming into wholesaling real estate. So screw the revenge, screw anything else. This should be the main focus. Get so wildly rich that all you had to do is buy one rental property that pays you $4,000 a month, and that pays for all your mom's expenses forever.
Yeah. And guys, think about this.
And you can write it off.
When we talk about retiring, it's like maybe your parents, they did the traditional route. And like, listen, there was much more limited choices, and they did the best what they had to do to make their family survive. So we don't discredit that. But talks about retiring your mom. The way we talk, you're never going to have to worry about retiring, because if you're doing something you enjoy and you're not using your physical, like brawn strength to do something, especially you guys doing physical labor jobs, trade jobs, which I'm fine with. But at some point you'll get older and like your mind just gets wiser and better. You actually get better as time goes on. Trust me. I'm just an older version of him. I did it the hard way up front. I cut the path. And if I didn't take that risk, I don't know what it'd be. He might be a lawyer. He might be, I don't know. But the thing is, if someone just steps up and breaks that generational, like, I'm going to retire. What's the point of working 30, 35 years and then retiring? The average person when they retire, I think they live 7 to 9 years. Why? Because you lost your way in life. The way you do this, retire your mom, retire your dad, take care of grandma, whatever. But when it comes to, you don't have to retire. You could do this till the day, you could do this as a 105-year-old. You have people do stuff, but you make decisions. And that activity is what really keeps your mind stimulated. You don't need all the other crap people turn to. Keep your mind stimulated. Wholesaling is awesome. And remember, it's a gateway to do other things because we're going to teach you how to buy assets that pay you and your family for the rest of your life. And I've never met anyone who's like even 70, 80, 90s going, I don't like to have fun with money. Everybody does. So the way we teach this is we don't talk about retirement because it's like we're always active, always monitoring our assets or money. And I'm just telling you, retire mom, but like you will not have to worry about retirement if you do this correctly. But you got to go in and you got to go now. We only talk about wholesaling on here. Everybody else wants to distract you with all this. You got to do this type of I got a new way to do this. And we got a new version of whole. No, it's smoke and mirrors. It's how you sell a course. Anybody who tells you differently, I guarantee you there's a course tied to it. Don't get distracted. Just like a fisherman, if I'm catching fish in this one spot, don't leave to go catch other fish. They're biting right here in wholesaling. I promise you. People right now are making a ton of money and it's only going to get better. Here's the difference. Are you going to start now and get through the first year or two and really have fun with it, or are you going to wait 5 years to do it? It's completely up to you.
Retire your mom, guys. I'm telling everyone, make that your goal. If that's not your goal, you have the wrong goal in mind right now. Retire yourself first, then retire your mom. And I don't say retire like I mean, like I'm probably never going to be retired what I do. But what I mean by that is I just don't have to work ever again. I can just sail off to the world, stepbrother style on my boat and just do whatever I want, right? And that's the goal. And so retire your mom. That should always be your focus. And so my mom's already basically retired because the amount of money I make, we're partners, so you make it too. So I just buy her stuff. But
I kind of cut the path.
I'll just buy her stuff. But it's still fun, right? Yeah. Retire your mom, guys. Make that your goal. Make that your goal for
Find
everything.
someone to retire. And I looked up, what was his name? A running back for on Tampa Bay. His last name's Dunn. You want to make now? Listen, trust me, he made it in athletes, but he got wealthy. And what did he did? He paid off 145 mortgages for struggling moms because he grew up with a struggling mom and he did so well. And he was so he was just so rich from it. He wanted to pay it back forward. And then you have like disabled veterans. They have programs where they pay off their mortgages. Guys, it's unlimited what you can do. So if like your challenge, it's not going to be your mom, find someone that you can help. And because life's always about giving back at some point. But some of you are trying to give before you've even figured out like how to secure your family. And I'm here to tell you, when people tell you you got to tithe 10%, if you're struggling, you've got an incredible amount of debt, you have to lock it down first. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Whoever preaches, you've got to lock it down. Still help people out because once you get there, then you can give back tenfold.
Okay, so step 5, number 5 here, why you have to go all in on wholesaling. Time freedom. Guys, imagine this. This is the last year you ever have a job. How does that sound? Does that sound pretty cool? I think that sounds pretty cool to me.
Love it.
Do it for your time. Just get your time back. That's it. Like, you can't go to little Billy's football game or whatever. Just like make it a priority where you can do that, right? And when I say retire your mom, why I say you need to get retired first is if you can't spend time with your mom, there's so many rich people that are so rich, but they work 120 hours a week. They can't go take their mom out for lunch. They can't take their family out anywhere because they work so much. And that is another form of being broke. There's time and there's money. Those are your two things you can have in life, right? And if you don't have one of them, you're screwed. And health, I would say health too. The one thing about health, and when you guys put perspective, we teach you how to get rich, but it's one of my favorite proverbs ever. I don't know who quoted it. Someone quoted it, but the rich man wants a million things, and the sick man only wants one thing, right? And that's the only honest truth, right? The healthy man wants 10,000 things, but the sick man only wants one thing. And so your health is everything. It is, but also your time is very important too. What we have to understand about your time is, like I've said, if you get super rich and wealthy, but you can't use that time, you're poor. And so we're helping you get your money right. And the money should be able to buy you assets. That means you can spend time. But if you have a job right now, make this the last year you ever have a job. Like, you could do it. You just got to go all in on wholesaling, right?
Guys, it's so simple. But I will tell you, when you dabble, you try, you think about it. I'm not talking about you people working full time and getting your wholesaling started, but it's still a commitment. Either you go all in. Because if you have an option like B, C, and D, it's not going to, most likely it's not going to work. Now, if you're keeping your job because you have obligations and you have people to feed in your family, that's the right move to make and get that done. And your other options, like when I hit this number, I'm out. Because the reality is, guys, most of you working a job, you just traded time for money. And so when you get a lot of money, you can buy other people's time. And if you look at it and go, man, I'm giving up my most precious resource, which is my time. Listen, I used to have a boss, he called me Saturday. It was, you guys know, I had what was that horrible boss? I think they filmed it after me. I had a boss that he reminded me every day he owned me. He owned my time. He owned everything. And like, what did I give it up for? Like, what's your time really worth at the end of the day? I get it. We all took jobs because we had to feed our families. But like, if you were truly in control and, time is the most precious thing you have on life. If you can take control of your time back, it is the greatest thing you can do. I have never preached on here, go be the richest man in the world, because the richest man in the world is the happiest man or woman in the world. Steve Jobs, one of the wealthiest men in the world, he had regrets on his deathbed. I worked too much. Don't want you to do that. And the beauty about wholesaling is you can cater it to your life. You want to give back and help people? God bless you. If you want to spend more time in the youth leagues, God bless you. If you want to help people out and you want to even you can even give houses away. You get discounted houses, have people fix it up, be part of an incredible charity. It's completely up to you. You want to be like super, super rich, run hard 10 years, do that. Wholesaling is a job. Don't get me wrong. It's work. But if you take the cash and invest it in assets that pay you, as opposed to these fancy washes, guys, a Lamborghini, I laugh when people buy a Lamborghini. I can afford a Lamborghini, but it doesn't pay me. It is a fastly depreciating asset. I don't need don't be attracted to me for what I drive. If you think a F-150 or like a Honda Accord's attractive, I'm your man. End of story, guys. It's all about time. And how do you get time? You got to make money. And once you have money, you can buy back time.
Exactly. So go out here and do it. I get always a lot of people that make a lot less money. They get like, money can't buy happiness. And I always say, well, money can buy me a jet ski. And I've never been sat on a jet ski. So let's get rich. All right, why not? It's for funsies. Let's just screw around
But also, guys, money can buy a caretaker to help your mom out in her elderly time, so you can make sure she's safe and secure. Money can solve a lot of problems. It won't solve them all, but it gives you options to fix things in your life. And listen, when you have options, things are easier in your life, and nobody can dispute that.
Exactly. So let's break this all down, and let's get number 6 here. Okay, guys, I truly believe, and I say this with 100% conviction in my heart, you were not meant to be put on this earth to just get by, shuffle your feet, and just get through the day, and just one moment at a time. That's not why you are on earth right now. You are not alive. You do not have air in your lungs, something that every single dead person in the world right now can't have, and they would have given everything to. You do not have this gift of life right now to just walk around and just get through the day. You were put on this earth for a purpose. You were put on this earth to actually do something, and you were put on this earth to actually get things done. There's a lot of people that are alive that aren't truly living right now. And there's also a lot of people right here that, they don't live too long, but they lived a very full, happy, and intense life with purpose, right? And you're only alive for a certain amount. And you have to realize you only have one life. Confucius said this. I love this Confucius quote. I don't know why I'm quoting today. But a man has 2 lives. And the second life begins when he realizes he only has one. And so once you understand that you only have one life, are you going to wake up one day and be like, hey, I'm not going to do this till 65 years old. This is not me. This is not what my family's going to be. It's not who my grandkids are going to look back and say, hey, Grandpa, he just worked a regular job and he just went by. No. My grandkids are going to look at me, and your great grandkids are going to look back and say, hey, these crazy people, they decided that they are going to change our financial future forever. They're going to change the Gin name. They're going to change everything. And they're actually going to go by and create wealth. They are going to help not just our family, but everyone's family trying to get into wholesaling. We are going to change the entire wholesaling game by teaching it for free and the best way possible. Guys, I was not put on this earth just to shuffle by, work a regular bag boy job. You were not put on this earth just to be the enterprise rent-a-car guy. This is not what the purpose was. Your purpose is to get filthy rich, change the world around you, and make it a better place, and to live a full, fulfilling life. That is the point, guys and gals. You are not sitting around here just to go get by and not take care of your family and the people around you that you care about and things that you care about. So why do you have to go all in on wholesaling? Because you are not sitting by anymore. You are not having that regular life. You are not going to be like the 99%. If you want to be like the 99% and fit in, you're going to live like the 99%. Paycheck to paycheck, live for a Saturday, hung over on a Sunday, and then do it all on Monday.
It's the Matrix all over.
That you ain't going to be in the Matrix. You're the only thing you're feeding is the overlords, which are the rich. And I guess I'm part of the problem. I'm trying to get you there with me. That's the honest truth. And so accept that you're going to suffer. Accept you're going to have to work hard. Accept you're going to actually have to go out here and learn a little bit of wholesaling, and accept that you are not going to live the life that your parents have foretold you, society has foretold you. You're not going to be able to do this. I love teachers to death, and I love teachers so much. And I technically am a teacher teaching wholesaling. But if you're going to let a teacher making 40 grand a year let you know what you can and can't do in life, that's not it. And some people are put on earth to teach. I get it. But you specifically were not put on earth to be poor paycheck to paycheck, just waiting to get by in life. You were going to make a change today. And this is your Confucius. Your second life starts today. It doesn't start yesterday. No, this is your second life. You have 2 lives. You're starting the second one right now because you realize it could be all gone. And this brings us to number 7, why you have to go all in on wholesaling. Because tomorrow is never promised. Guys, if you unfortunately, knock on wood, pass away tomorrow, what would you leave behind to your kids? What would you leave behind to your family? What would you leave behind for that? Your legacy. What? Great memories, of course. That's always important, but that's just bare minimum. Leave behind something. I know, if unfortunately you ever passed away or anything terribly sudden, knock on wood, and won't happen, at least I have a legacy of what I've given to that back to people, the charities I've given to, and everything about that, right? And I try to live every single day knowing that tomorrow is never promised, and today might be my last. That being said, I'm doing everything in my power to go live a life that I truly, by the time I'm 90 years old or 100 or whatever, on the deathbed, say, hey, I gave everything on the field. I'm good to go. You do not want to be sitting there and be like, oh, I wish I would have, could have. No, you're going to have 0 regrets. You're going to go all in on wholesaling. I'm not telling you to go quit your job and your 4 kids and just, get by and you're like, oh, screw them. Right. I'm not saying to do that, but just start wholesaling today. So go all in.
So guys,
to do it.
Keep this. Okay. You can look at life 2 ways. Most people look at life on how many days they were alive on this earth. Okay. That's most people's judgment card. Yeah. I live to be 95, 100. 100 would be like an amazing. Here's how you got to look at it. And I don't know why we're kind of stuck on stoicism today, but I like it because we learned from people 2,000 years ago, and history reveals lessons that you can learn from. Okay. There's been many lives lived before you. And if you don't take the hints, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. So instead of evaluating your life on how many days you're alive, why don't you start calculating it by the number of days you've lived to the fullest? Okay. I don't care when you start, but there's a lot of people living their 90s, just never, ever took a risk, played it safe. It's secure. And at the end, here's the news, guys. Fortunately, we're all going to die. It's just, so we already started out deteriorating right off the bat. So the question is, stop counting how many days you're alive and start counting the days you actually live. Who cares if you fail or something? Who cares if you get rejected? We're all going to have plenty of time to sleep in the end. Start counting the days you live. Stop doing the days you're alive, and make sure you're okay with every conversation with everybody in your life when you go to bed. Because if the Lord takes you, you got to be good with it. And so many people aren't. So let's start living and making it count. And by doing wholesaling and going on, you can provide amazing things for everybody around you. It'll improve you. Is it going to be uncomfortable and awkward? Yeah. That's where me and Zach come in and just tell you the truth. Because so many people try to sugarcoat it. And they're okay with 1 or 2% making it. I want everybody to make it in wholesaling. I'm sorry, man. I think you're special if you've chose this business. I think you're bold. And I think you've accepted this is not what God intended for me to do. And if you've chose this path, and there's a lot of things to choose from, it is the most proven path. And me and Zach do it every day. And right now is the absolute best time to get started. I promise you won't regret the decision.
Oh, go all in. Guys, if you want to learn wholesaling, we have a free wholesaling course. Spoiler, it's called freewholesaling.com.
What?
Costs no money, teaches you how to wholesale real estate and get rich. No payments in there. There's no way to put a credit card in. Go in there, learn wholesaling. Pretty much it. It's on my website, flipthework.com too. I just go there, learn how to wholesale for free. I don't know what else to tell you. You go to the course, it's free. You learn wholesaling, you get rich, you repeat. That's it. You have to put the work in though. Okay, that is it. You cannot be going out here and just sitting on your butt all day doing it, right? I wish some of y'all were back in the 1500s, the 1400s. You know why? Because we were pretty much everyone was serfs and farmers back then. You look back in history. Guess what happened to the farmer that was lazy? That, you know what? I don't want to farm today. I don't want to go harvest the grain today. Yeah. I don't want to get the corn. I don't want to do that today. Guess what happens? You starve to death because winter comes and you don't have enough food. So everyone worked hard back then. But now if you don't want to work hard, you just stay poor and, you get by and you still live in mom's basement, right? Life's gotten a lot better since back then. But I think a lot of you guys have to kind of have that mindset. The farmers that worked hard, they stayed alive because they worked hard. And they did not what they wanted to do because they didn't want to go out. They did it because they needed to do it. And so you have to understand that it's very important that life's changed a lot. But if you go out here and work your butt off, you'll do good. If you ever hear old proverbs and like old sages in the back then, they all talk about working hard because if you don't work hard, you're dead. That's pretty much it. Everyone worked hard back then. But why now does everyone think in human nature that we can just sit by all day and do nothing all day? No, same exact thing. Same exact process, and you get rich. So guys, we have a free wholesaling course, freelisten.com. Yeah,